guys, and welcome back to my channel. Sorry it has been a hot minute since my last video. I took some time off with the holidays, but I do hope that you guys had a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. And I just hope that 2022 treats you guys well. I am filming today's video in my boys' room, so that is why this is the background. They just have the best lighting in the house. But I know that a lot of you have been wondering if I passed my 3-hour glucose test and how it went. So if you are someone who is just curious to know my results and don't actually care about hearing about the process of the 3-hour glucose test, then I'm not going to keep you waiting. I did pass my 3-hour test. So I am so blessed and so grateful that I passed that, but I did want to tell you guys a little bit about it in case you are someone who is going to be taking it as well and you kind of want to know what to expect. A little backstory if you didn't hear about my 1-hour glucose test. I failed that, and I feel like the reason I failed it is because of what I ate the morning of. This is my 3rd pregnancy. I have never failed my glucose test, so it was a real shock to me when I was told that I had failed it. My doctor does not have dietary restrictions, so you can eat before your test. But where I messed up is I ate peanut butter on toast, which is very high in carbs, and carbs turn into sugar. So, and I only ate it about 30 minutes before I drank my glucola. So it definitely messed with my results. I thought I was being smart by having peanut butter toast because of like the protein and the peanut butter and like the fat and stuff, but no, I was not very smart with that. If you do eat before your 1-hour test, you want to make sure that you eat something that's very high in fiber, high in protein. So like eggs and spinach is a really great breakfast. And funny enough, that is exactly what I ate for my glucose test with my 2 boys, and then this time around I just had peanut butter toast because that's just what I eat every morning now. So definitely messed up, so that's a little tip for you guys. But for the 3-hour one, you cannot eat. You have to fast before you go in. I will say, if you are someone who wakes up very hungry, this test is brutal. But definitely make sure that you eat something the last minute you can. So for me, that was like 10 o'clock. So at 9:55, I made sure to have a big bowl of cereal so that I wouldn't wake up starving, because I knew if the last thing I ate was my dinner the night before, I was going to be so hungry. So I set an alarm, made sure to wake myself up at like 9:45 to go downstairs and have a snack. And I would definitely recommend doing that because it helped me tremendously. So they had me get to my appointment about 20 minutes before my actual appointment time. So they take your blood, get your fasting amount to make sure that your numbers are normal before they start the test, because if they're too high or too low, then they won't start your test. So they have to know what you start at when you have no food in your stomach. I would also definitely recommend packing snacks. Not that you can snack while you're there, like doing the test, but you can snack right when your last blood draw is done. You can have your snack or your food or whatever you bring. So I made sure to bring some snacks just because I wanted to make sure that I would be able to eat something if I was so sickly hungry at the end of this process. But when I got there and she was drawing my fasting amount, the amount was good. The levels were good. I think I was like right in between the range, so I was perfectly in the middle. And she was like, okay, perfect, we can start. So she gave me the glucola, and for the 3-hour one, it's actually double the amount of the 1-hour one. And let me tell you, it was so sweet and so like thick almost. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but it was just like, I mean, you're literally drinking the amount of sugar you should have in a day in 5 minutes. Ugh. And I'm not someone who drinks soda or really like sugary drinks like that, other than like an occasional iced coffee or something. So drinking that much sugar for me was like, ooh, it was like not fun. But after that, I had to finish my drink at 8 o'clock, so I did. And then they put you into an exam room, so you're not like waiting in the waiting room or anything like that. You have your own room. And it was really nice because she had told me, if you feel like you're gonna get really hungry or you're gonna get sick, just try to sleep. And I was like, girl, I have 2 toddlers and I am almost due with my 3rd baby, so I will take you up on a nap for sure. So I honestly ended up sleeping like the whole time. So I fell asleep from 8 to 9, and then at 9 o'clock on the dot, they come in, draw your blood out of the other arm that they didn't draw your blood already from. And then they leave, and you just go back to sleep, or you do whatever you want. And then 10 o'clock, they come back in, draw it from the first arm they drew blood from. They don't do the same arm every time because they don't want to risk like bruising the vein, or I don't know, but they alternate arms. And so the 2-hour drew my blood again, fell back asleep, and then the 3-hour one, they drew my blood, and I was done. And let me tell you guys, it would have been such a struggle if I wasn't able to sleep, because I would have been so hungry. Every time that they would come in and wake me up, I would just be like, I would feel so hungry and not really sick. I never got really nauseous. I was just more so hungry. And so every time they would come in, I was like, ugh, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. And then I would just fall back asleep. And that is like literally my biggest tip for you guys. If you can, just sleep. I turned the lights off, I closed the blinds, and literally just slept the whole time. And she told me that if there is ever someone who is feeling really nauseous or is getting really, really hungry to the point where they're getting sick, just to sleep, and it helps so much. So I had brought like a computer, I had brought stuff to do to keep me busy, but I literally ended up just sleeping the whole time, and that worked for me. So let me read you guys my test results really quick. I know this was like a quick little update, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I did pass and that everything looked good. So my test results, let's see. So I had 100 grams of glucola, whatever it's called, and glucose fasting. The standard range is 70 to 94 milligrams, and mine was 82. So I was like smack dab in the middle. My 1-hour blood draw, my value, or the standard range was 70 to 179, and I was at 161. And then the 2-hour, the standard range is 70 to 154, and I was at 122. And then the 3-hour, the standard range is 70 to 139, and I was at 135. So this was kind of confusing to me that my 2nd-hour glucose level was lower than my 3rd. Like, why did my blood sugar spike a little bit in the 3-hour one? Because I didn't have anything to eat. But my doctor, and I thought that they might have like mixed up the results or something. Either way, I was still within the range, so it was totally fine. The way that my doctor put it was that it's totally normal, it's very common, and my body could have just been trying to play like catch up and trying to like regulate itself. And so, I mean, I don't know that that makes much sense to me, but she said that it was totally normal, so I guess it's normal. I just thought they mixed it up and they entered it wrong. But anyway, I passed. I don't have gestational diabetes, and like, let me just say that if I have gestational diabetes, it would not have been the end of the world. And I know that sometimes these videos can kind of make it seem like, oh, if you end up getting gestational diabetes, it's the end of the world, like you don't want it. And yeah, no one wants gestational diabetes. But let me tell you, it usually goes away after you have the baby. Like, it does not last, and it's not the end of the world. And I don't want to come on here saying like, oh yay, like I'm perfect, I don't have gestational diabetes, I have a perfect pregnancy, and then try to make you guys feel bad if you do have it. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. I just want to say that I'm glad I don't have it, because at my doctor's office, gestational diabetes puts you immediately in a high-risk pregnancy. And I have never had a high-risk pregnancy, but both of my sisters were high-risk pregnancies. Both of my sisters were delivered prematurely. And that has always scared me. And I just don't want to have anything that could potentially cause me to have any complications or a premature birth or anything like that. And I'm not saying that if you have gestational diabetes, that's what's going to happen. I am just trying to preface that I am trying to keep myself as low risk as possible, and that is what is most important to me. So I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad if they do have gestational diabetes, if they did not get the best news at their 3-hour test. So just please keep that in mind when you are listening to this video, because I don't want to come off like that, you know? I hope that if you guys are planning on getting the 3-hour test done, that you pass it. And if you don't, just remember it is not the end of the world, and you are still going to be a great mother, and you're going to have a healthy baby. Thank you guys so much for watching and following along this pregnancy journey with me. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I appreciate your support. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you are not already, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.